What's going on, guys? It's Kuei here. So, with the Lin Kuei Tower having 48 days, there was a lot of conflict in the community. Yes, the Lin Kuei Tower is a good tower. In general, if you compare this to the new Lin Kuei Tower, which removed any guaranteed epics, this tower is far superior and easier. However, there's still a problem. Everything is standard participation. Everything. And these are the only golds in the entire tower that you were able to pull, which has some major issues. A lot of these are not challenge golds, and number two, there's no new golds. Along with that, there is no random diamond whatsoever. There's only this right here. Circle Shot of Sub-Zero, Cold War Sub-Zero, and MK11. Those are the only 3 diamonds you can get in the entire tower. So there were some major issues with this being 48 days. That's just way too much time compared to the amount of content that we actually get from this tower. Well, as the Kuei channel always does, I always like to predict what they normally do. Now, the developers for the Sorcerer's Tower normal repeat did not drop anything else, and that was one of the longest repeats we've ever had. It was 36 days for the normal Sorcerer's Tower. That was boring. I'm going to be quite honest, quite frank with you guys, just brutal honesty. It was boring. This tower started to set some boredom in a little bit for me. Just because the Tower 200 was a little bit, not easy because of all the freezing, but it wasn't challenging enough, and the equipment that I was using was the Lin Kuei Tower gear for the tower boost and bonuses, and honestly, I just don't like using that gear only against the tower bosses for Lin Kuei. Well, do I have news for everyone who has been like, I want to be able to get some random diamonds, I want to be able to get different tower gear, and I want a choice. I don't only want to play Lin Kuei, I want to be able to play something else. Guess what? The developers, they've decided to, kick it on into high gear and do something they've never done in the entirety of MK Mobile. 2 repeat towers. That is right. 2 repeat towers. Let's talk about this. So number one, I did an upcoming challenges and events video that's pretty accurate to what's going on now. And we also get to go over some event that's coming up here soon. So firstly, let's jump into what is after the Tanya challenge, which was shown off in the last video as the last challenge we were able to see. There's one more after Tanya. Oh, yes, and I do want to make one tiny correction from last video, which was that the Mileena challenge and the Tanya challenge will be combined together for 7 days. Just like the Liu Kang and Katana challenge, the way that they put them together, that's exactly what Mileena and Tanya will be doing. I just want to point that out because I did get that wrong in my video. Sorry about that. But this is what is after the Tanya challenge and Mileena combined. It's the Pharaoh Ermac challenge, which I don't think we've had him for a while. Regardless, he's a pretty decent character. He's good for power generation. But let's see what is the next tower in MK Mobile and also an upcoming event that you guys have been asking about. Believe it or not, but the White Lotus Tower will be returning. And no, not the Fatal, the normal version. I want to get that very straight and clear to you guys. It will be the normal version. But still, this is great news because the Lin Kuei Tower is just going on way too long, which is it is the longest repeat in the entirety of MK Mobile. 48 days is the longest we've ever had for a repeat tower. And when I say repeat, I always want to clarify, a repeat tower is after the new one. And White Lotus Tower for this update was the new tower. So I guess the question I have to ask is this an extension or is this a repeat? Because it's coming right after the new tower, but it's the new tower again. So is it a repeat or an extension? I'm going to call it a repeat because we thought for sure it was gone, and it was like 20 days in to the Lin Kuei Tower. Actually, well, Yeah, about 20 days into the Lin Kuei Tower that we got this. So it was very late news. It wasn't like the Lin Kuei Tower being replaced, similar to Cold War Tower. It wasn't being replaced. It's being added on next to it. So let's go over what time this tower is starting. March 10th at 9 a.m. Central Time is when this tower will be beginning, and it'll end on March 27th at 9 p.m. Central Time. The interesting thing about this is that it'll end just one day before the Winter Tower, also known as Lin Kuei Tower. I don't know why it's going to do that, but whatever. So they'll both have roughly the same amount of time left. I'd say it'd be like 17 days for White Lotus when it starts, and it'll be 18 days for Lin Kuei Tower. So they're going to end at a similar time. And once these two towers come to an end, that is when the next update will be dropping. But you're also probably going, Kude, what's that event you were talking about? You guessed it, Reptile event. Reptile event will be returning on March 17th at 11 a.m. Central Time. And it'll be going for 7 days as normal, and it'll be ending on March 24th at 11 a.m. Central Time. So exactly 7 days, just like Relic Hunt. A few things about Reptile event. It can only be played once, so you can only get one copy of them, and then it disappears until the next event comes back, like 3 to 4 months. And another thing to point out about the Reptile event is that the eyes will not appear until you actually get just a couple. Like, you won't be able to see the eye indicator at the top unless you already have a couple of the eyes. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy kind of just going over the upcoming challenges. I know I've been posting a little bit more infrequently, but I do plan to be changing that by posting more just team gameplay on survival mode. I'm going to be posting more of that. It's a little, well, it's hard to put it into words, but I've never been like a fan of just posting every other day, like random content playing survivor mode, but I think it's probably for the best. And I know you could say, why not post tower content? It's a good point, but I really just don't feel like posting tower like 100, 120, 140 every single day. Maybe like every few days I can post a tower 200 or live stream a tower 200, but I just don't want to do it too many times because it'll get way too repetitive. And even with that, it starts to feel a little repetitive. So it'll be nice to actually have White Lotus Tower to be able to do either one, not just one tower only. And also, I think survivor mode is going to be much better for posting every day because, well, you can play anything in survivor mode, anything, any equipment, and you can also play many different teams without having to worry about the tower bonus stats. You don't have to worry about that. And you also don't have to worry about the characters getting crushed by the opponent's gears compared to in survivor mode, which, I mean, you could still get crushed, but it's going to be a lot less likely. So yes, White Lotus and Lin Kuei, what do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments below what you think about this new MK Mobile update. Remember, update 4.2 will be right around the corner once these two towers come to an end, because that is how they normally do it. But still, the first ever time in MK Mobile history that they have put two repeat towers next to each other side by side. I am liking this change. I don't think it should have been 20 days into the tower, though. That's way too much time, and it also made us think that nothing was going to happen. I had a small feeling, just a tiny feeling, that maybe they would drop a second tower, but because they've never done it before, I didn't count on it, and I didn't say they would or predict it. But now that they did, we can start to expect more changes in the future. Warner Brothers for MK Mobile has been making a lot of sporadic changes, going back and doing things they've never done before, and just doing them over and over countless times, which is good because they are, you know, improving on our expectations. They're not just saying, no, you're not going to get this and don't hope for this. Now we have something to hope for in the future because they had two towers here. We can hope that the next repeat is also two towers. All right, so let me just give a big shout out to my YouTube members. We have Mr. Valkimo, Coing, Titan, LBX God Op, Metal Crab 3001, Shawcrow Lin, Catherine, Ramakoi, Noxon, Grim, Hamakaza's channel, Unreal Pete, ProView Optical, The Mist, Ronaldo, Jeremy, Bagor, NNA Blaster, Ghosty XL, Heymuth, 3WPS, Plain Punch, Poppy Garcia Official, Devil, Stefano, Presh GG, Protex Hayes, Ali Imran, Karin, SC Zucky 97, BB, Frenzo, Exares, Shadow Sparkles, Jewful Candle, Friendly Guy with a Spurger, Grimmeramia, Overkill 80, Fitzmagic, Massive Cool, Rosislav, Siege's Empire, Random, Fierce Wolf, and MK Fire. And yeah, peace out.